Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for another coffee chat. Here we go. Always got to show the forearm off. Mainly because it seems to really annoy people who don't like me when I do that. That's a good enough reason to do stuff, right? All right, so over to the point. Something I've been thinking about, talking about more, and I've been reminded of a lot of that. And I do think guys like Alan Thrall was right to some extent, not saying who he is working with is a wise idea, because it's not. But I digress, back over to the point. Up until more recent times, like within my lifetime, we didn't see the divergence that we have in the lifting world. You know, everyone has this mindset now of either they are a bodybuilder or they're a power lifter. Instead of everyone just saying, hey, let's just all be fit, let's all be jacked, let's be strong, let's look decent. Let's do all these different things. And it's not like they're conflicting goals until you get to the most extremes, right? And unless you are going, well, I want to be a professional bodybuilder and make my living off of it, then maybe you might not care quite as much about the strength then. Maybe as a power lifter, when you are stuck at the national level and you're like, man, I really need to be high competing at the world level, then maybe you could care a little bit less about your cardio. Maybe you could care a little bit less about if your physique looks good. Okay, it makes sense in those cases. If you are trying to be the top 1% in your competitive endeavor, I get it. But for those of you who are amateur bodybuilders, particularly if you're actually trying to do it without taking anything, you better be strong. You better be strong. For those of you who are national level power lifters, you see where we're going with this? You place decent at nationals. Okay, that's as far as you plan on going. Fortunately, I know people who have world records who are shredded most of the year, but that's a different point. I know some people personally like that. Guess they're the exception then. So on and so forth. For everyone else, there's no need to paint yourself into these boxes. And quite frankly, I do think that we need to expect people to be more well-rounded. We should have those standards. Think particularly out of your influencers, the people who are putting out information. I've always been judged harshly on it, and I always thought it was strange that I was, because I was a strength athlete. It was like, okay, well, let's do this and let's do this, But I think that needs to apply all the way around. We should be looking at people who are putting out information, who are content creators, influencers, all of that stuff in the lifting world. They need to be what people used to be. Everyone used to be well-rounded. Go back to the 50s, 60s, further back. I'll jump back to that in a second. We need to be looking at these guys and going, oh, are you in shape? Are you strong? In other words, if a guy is standing up here claiming to be jacked or have this impressive physique and all this muscle, they better have a good squat and deadlift. I mean, if they have muscle, they better be able to deadlift. And I don't mean with straps either. Because if you have thick forearms, you better be able to grip the bar. If you got legs, you better be able to squat. Like, did you not really build any muscles? Is it just a camera angle? Are you photoshopping it? Because if you got muscle, you're going to have respectable lifts on those. Okay, you will. If you have a posterior chain, like if you got glutes, hamstrings, and forearms, you better be deadlifting some decent weight. And decent's not, oh, I can pull 500 for a grindy single with straps. No, you better be strong. Be strong. How about let's come over to the guys pushing strength? I mean, let's talk about strength. Let's talk about health. same people who will stand there and get angry about people using any form of PED will stand there and be fat. Come on, shut up. You're hurting your health worse, way worse. We need to have some accountability and standards here, and expect people to live up to being fitness people. Because the community is not going to change till the people putting out information and inspiring others change. And that is the direction I've been going, of holding myself accountable to. That's one reason I've already displayed impressive strength. You guys have seen me deadlift 635 pounds with a stiff bar and calibrated plates and those straps. Okay, you guys have seen me squat up in the 500s with a variety of bars. See me pause bench 365, both closed grip and wide grip. I've done it both. So on and so forth. I put up some decent numbers. Okay, I've done that. Not bad for an old guy in his 40s, well into his 40s. So now I need to work on the other more. I used to be really cardiovascularly fit. I'm going to keep working on that. I need to get leaner, need body composition, need some abs. We all need to balance these things, guys. We need to be balanced. We need to be well-rounded. Because you go back, and how was it way back in the day? There was no real big difference between a lot of the strength athletes and it was considered a bodybuilder. It was all just one big pool. One big pool. It was just people who worked out and were fit. But they all pushed fitness lifestyles all the way around. Right? There was no such thing as a bodybuilder without a strong deadlift, so on and so forth. It just didn't happen. It was a different world. Now it's turned into all these little niches, and people, want to only do one. But that's not fitness. It's not fitness. Okay. But that was a different world. You know how they got away with a lot of it? They didn't have as much stuff. They didn't take as much stuff. So therefore, guys had to get strong if they wanted to get big. Progressive overload kind of mattered. And so on. Different world. And I'd like to see more people pushing back into that. Right? You see it in CrossFit. They're making everyone look like clowns in the fitness industry. They really are. And so many fitness people like to clown on them, but they're doing better. Just saying, maybe they have the right idea. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.